You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that...
I want you all to know that we are fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake. It's fake, phony, fake. It's fake, phony, fake. Oh, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are. They are the enemy of the people. Because they have no sources. They just make them up when there are none. I saw one story recently where they said 9 people have confirmed. There are no 9 people. I don't believe there was 1 or 2 people. 9 people. And I said, give me a break, because I know the people. Leaks are absolutely real. The news is fake because so much of the news is fake. Tomorrow they will say, Donald Trump rants and raves at the press. I'm not ranting and raving. I'm just telling you, you're dishonest people. But I'm not ranting and raving. I love this. I'm having a good time doing it. But tomorrow the headlines are going to be Donald Trump rants and raves.
And now a special message from me. Welcome to TNN, the only news network that is 100% fair and 112% factual. Our top story tonight: Sweden is still reeling from Friday's incident that absolutely did happen. Details are still unclear, but we're getting word that it was definitely real and 100% not made up.
And, one of the things that's been in the press a lot recently is fake news, the idea of fake news.
Yeah.
And I heard, is this true that you have started your own fake news site?
I have.
Yeah.
It's called Please Listen to Me.
Okay.
You're all fake news. I hate you all very much, and thank you for being here.
Mr. President, CNN here.
Fake news. Fake news. Who? Fake. In fact, I'm not even calling it fake news anymore. I've thought of something new. I've changed the name. I'm now calling it faux news. It's much classier if you think about it. Very classy. Spelled F-A-U-X. And it's not pronounced Fox. Even though I love Fox, it's the best network. Faux and Friends is my favorite show on Faux.
Yeah, fake news, and it just seems like it's everywhere right now. Fake news to me is anything that just doesn't fit into this kind of legitimate category for what, at least as a journalist, we kind of define as going through what to me, and having been a journalist and teaching journalists, is kind of like a rigorous, background checking, making sure that we've talked to the proper sources, making sure that we've followed everything ethically that we know how to do. I definitely negative. I mean, couldn't be any more negative, because really, and I see it being kind of twofold too, because to me what we're seeing is both kind of this illegitimate journalism going on that's placed for negative reasons, to sway the public in a number of different ways. I mean, we see it, so much is talked about, like with Trump and Russia, but you're seeing it across the boards in so many ways. And so you've got kind of this traditional definition of it. As bad right now is just that the term is being thrown around left and right, and so now you have real legitimate journalistic efforts that are being labeled as fake news. Just the label now, just that people can kind of use this term, which is widely held, and change our opinion about organizations that are reputable, that do go the extra lengths to make sure that what they're putting out there is journalistically sound. That label now today is just as bad, because it just casts doubt on everything. I think the credibility of great news organizations are being diminished, and that's clearly not good. Yeah, it's tough what the answer is. I think it's and you're seeing it being addressed in certain ways. Facebook and Google trying to figure out how can they do something about it. Basically almost kind of giving this stamp to certain organizations that have fit their criteria for what will be considered news. But I mean, what's the answer? I don't know. This is, I think, a difficult time, partly because we've got so many. Once upon a time, journalists were kind of the gatekeeper, and that was it as far as information goes. But now with phones, with Facebook, with Snapchat, with everything, almost anybody can be a journalist today. And that's great from a lot of respects, to be able to go and have a lot of people reporting on issues, tackling issues. That's terrific. But how do we solve that? I think some of it's just education of ourselves. I think we can place a lot on journalists. I think we can place a lot on politicians or whoever. But a lot of it comes back to us. You know, we're skimmers now. We just kind of take anything we read online and we just think that it's gospel. And I think we as a society, we need to start kind of going, wait a minute, what is real and what isn't? And some of that's on me to start to figure that out. You know, that's a fool's dream or something. But I think that's what we, as we get frustrated as citizens in this country, you know, we need to start taking some of that responsibility and figuring out how we can weed things out, who we can trust, and where we want to go for information. Yeah, I think on any news organization, you know, again, whether it's fake organizations out there or just that label, it's so easy to throw that around. You know, I mean, it's not just administrations calling out journalists or college publications. It's students on campus, different organizations. And so I think you feel this up and down the board. You know, it's not just CNN. It is small news operations, even like us, because right now, I mean, journalists, all you have is credibility, you know, and if it's gone, everything that you put out becomes a little bit more tainted. Do young journalists get demoralized by this situation and just want to start to walk away from a profession that is so needed and so important? Does it just create this demoralizing effect that people don't want to go into this profession anymore? I hope that isn't the case, but I think there are a lot of ramifications that are all pretty negative that come of this. Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I think number one is, you know, I mean, it just sounds so simple, but just don't cut corners. There are a few bad apples. I mean, we've seen lots of cases of fabricated news in the past at New York Times, at major publications, and sometimes it's individuals who are doing it for malicious reasons, and sometimes it's just laziness. And if there's one thing about journalism that you just can't be, it's lazy. Everything, I mean, it's like anything in life, you know? The level of carefulness, of care, of just hard work and digging that needs to go into it, because that really that makes a difference, you know? When people are seeing just the level of work that went into it, when they're able to kind of fact check, when you're not just using anonymous sources, when it's pretty clear, when you can read an article and be pretty certain that, shoot, if I want to go if I want to go check this myself, I could. I think these are really important, that we as journalists and journalists who are going out into the world are not cutting corners.
Last question, completely opinion.
Yeah.
Do you think this whole fake news thing is kind of something that's almost like a bookmark towards the end of journalism, or something that could spark a resurgence of a whole new, well thought out journalism, or just some trend that's going to pass?
I hope it's something that doesn't last and doesn't have a lasting impact on journalism. I don't think it will. I think journalism, you know, there's so much talk about, is journalism dying? Is this? But the reality is we consume more information than we ever have, and there are more ways to consume information than we've ever had. We need information. We need good information. You know, is this something? I mean, we've always had issues like this, yellow journalism of the past, all these types of things, and it's really a matter of kind of cresting a hill. I think people are kind of fed up with it, you know. And so I think some of this will die down, but it's certainly not something that we can get complacent at. Certainly not as journalists or communications professionals, but the public too. I mean, I think it's something that we have to demand better information, better work by journalists. So I am always optimistic about the future, and certainly about journalism.